welcome back to Kilowatt Wednesday. This week's sponsor is Hot Purple Energy, and here this morning is the president of the company, Nate Otto. It's good to have you with us.
Good morning.
So we're talking about really kind of sprucing up, improving what you have if you already have a solar system. How do you know when it's time to give it a lift?
If it's working or not.
Oh, so you're talking if it completely stops, that's when you need to do something? Or is there a way
sometimes,
to tweak it?
I mean, we see some poorly designed systems that with a little bit of adjustment, they could actually produce quite a bit more.
What typically fails?
Typically, it's the older technology, transformer inverter or microinverter that fails.
Okay, now you're talking a foreign language.
Okay. The part that converts the sun's energy to the regular energy inside your house.
Okay, that's better.
Not the panel.
Not the panels, because, I mean, but panels are they're the heart of it, aren't they?
Actually, the transformer's the heart of it. The panels, they're just doing a really simple process, believe it or not, of grabbing the photons from the sun and converting it to DC energy. Even the cheap, poorly warranted panels, we see a failure rate of about 10 to 20% at about 10 to 15 years, which is bad, but it isn't as terrible as you would think.
It's not catastrophic.
Right.
Okay. Is there a way to prolong the life of what you have, you know, to kind of keep it going?
There is. I mean, typically when we see systems fail, it's from poor installation techniques. Wiring, waterproofing, mounting, and then the inverter is what fails. But when they aren't working so good, we can put in another inverter. They have optimizers that go on the panels that help the panels, especially when they start getting older, to really capture all the power. The solar edge technology is really leading that.
And because a lot of systems, you know, at this point, probably 20 years old or so, and if the installation isn't right, you probably can't go back to that company because they probably don't exist.
Unfortunately, that is the case in many cases. The panel manufacturers, the warranty's there. If they go out of business, you don't have a warranty. We do a lot of work for people that are not under warranty, or the companies just refuse to come back.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's not customer service. You know, and to me, customer service is probably the #1 thing that somebody has to look at before they invest in anything.
You know, and that's how we feel about it, but lots of times they're looking at the bottom line, and they're looking at $1,000 or $2,000 difference between companies, and they're not looking at the 20-year savings of hundreds of thousands. So they're making a decision based on $1,000 versus on 120 grand. Yeah. So it's a little bad.
So you've got the panels up there, and you know, sometimes we get enough rain that we have too much rain, but sometimes we don't get enough. And so what about cleaning those panels and taking care of that?
Well, that's a good point. Cleaning is about quarterly here in the desert with our dust, but when it rains, they're clean. And how you really know if the rain was good enough for the cleaning is the cars that are left outside. If they're cleaner, your panels are cleaner. If they're dirtier, then your panels are dirtier.
Yeah. If I judge that by my car, then it's going to need a wash. You know, and that just happens. I know that people have so many questions about solar, and it may be so foreign to them. And so what we'd like to do, I think, is to get questions from our viewers and let you answer them. Kind of put you on the hot seat, because I think there's just so much to learn about it, so much to know about it, and it's a big investment.
Absolutely, and people should do their due diligence, and I'd be happy to take on any questions.
Okay, so what we'd like you to do, if you have a question, you can just go ahead and email us at psnews@entravision.com. That's psnews@entravision.com, and Nate will be back for the next couple of weeks to answer these for us. What's the #1 question that you get asked when you go out to talk to someone?
Boy, you stumped me.
All right, and maybe you can stump him too with your questions. That's not the intent, but you've got the answers, I know.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Except for that last one.
That last one. All right, the #1 question. What's the #2 question? Never mind.
Does that really mean the commercial?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I bet they do. I want to know who draws all that too. It's pretty cool.
It's another commercial I was talking about.
Okay. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.